Greetings, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to the first week in what I am coining Master Path May. This month, with the new winged ego you just inherited in Aries and karma-free after the sun in Pisces, it is now time to plant some magic beans. Those beans are your potential for abundance and the story you were born to live. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, a strategic way to live a life of play. I'm your host and the sensei to serious joy, Christopher Witecki. Welcome back, my earthly neighbor. Namaste. We are on to my favorite month of the year. It's my birthday month. It is May, and it is Taurus, which is the I manifest state of awareness. And this week, we are ready to move to the master path of manifestation. That's why I'm calling it Master Path May, because some of you are ready to law of attract like a wizard or a priestess, however you want to coin yourself. And I believe for those who are ready, this is the week where you plant the seeds to your personal dreams or abundance or both. So in this week's show, I have some changes. First of all, I have a new segment called Soul Collective. We're going to talk about the collective conscious this week and what manifestation really is from a spiritual perspective. Then later in your tea time, I'm going to analyze for all 12 signs what this week really means when it comes to planting your dreams and irrigating your emotional issues. I think that's a super important part of it. It's the planting soil of your awareness. And then at the end of the show, I have a new little segment called Good News. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, April 30th to Friday, May 4th, 2018. Looking at your 5-day moodcast, it's mostly a sunny week with one wonky day. That will be Thursday. Let's drill down. On Monday, it's sunny and growing. Step 10 rules the day, which is the Grandmaster step of Taurus, and the moon in Scorpio protects your way. On Tuesday, it's sunny and healthy. Step 11 brings your life into integrity, and the moon in Sagittarius brings up a review of the karmic past. On Wednesday, it's sunny and learning. Step 12 rules the day, and you will have to experience an emotional rite of passage. It could be Black Lilith bringing up fears of fertility. And then on Thursday, it's cloudy, overcast with quantum revelations. Step 13 rules the day, promising surprises, and the moon crossing the galactic center may change your fate. And then on Friday, it's sunny and clear. The intellectual state of awareness is the ruling state, and the moon crossing Saturn brings new decisions and clarity. Well, as I take a look at the week ahead, we are planting new dreams, new seeds of abundance, and we are also tilling our soil. In our next segment, Soul Collective, I'm going to talk about where the collective consciousness is and how it might relate to you. Taking a sneak peek at this upcoming week, this week, the Soul Collective is planting seeds with love and conscious soil. And you may be wondering, what the hell are you talking about, conscious soil? Good question, something that's come to my mind in the last week. But let's take a step back and talk about manifestation. Now, I don't know if you've been studying spirituality for a while. I've been studying it for over 20 years, even longer, because when I was young, my parents introduced me to the idea that we manifest our intentions. So you could say that I was very blessed as a child, that I was kind of endowed with this truth to the universe, and I was able to kind of grow up observing my own awareness and observing what I have been able to law of attract. And I'm not trying to brag. In fact, I want to share these gifts with you. But if my heart has wanted something, I have to say my heart so far has always gotten it. And I don't think it's a talent of mine. I think it's that I'm awake to a truth, that human beings have a relationship to what we call reality. This relationship is perspective to some degree. Our perception of reality very much colors our reality, but it's much more than that once you start paying attention. It is the law of attraction in action. And the law of attraction very simply is what you be is what will come. So in simple terms, we are manifesting every day. In fact, that's the thing. We aren't aware of the fact we are manifesting every day. A lot of the Soul Collective is under the myth that things happen randomly to them. I completely disagree. I think there is no such thing as a coincidence. I think even the smallest little detail in one conscious frame of your life represents who you are. You can look at it symbolically, and you can often look at it literally. So as we come to the conscious cycles of Taurus this time of year, we suddenly become very aware of this innate ability that we have as humans to law of attract what we want. And most of us spend our time in our minds kind of coming up with a wish list. I want to manifest this year. I want to manifest that. A lot of people come up with manifestations for the summer and goals by the end of the year. And although January is the beginning month of the year, I've noticed after doing this for 20 years now, it's not till May that we get our astro together and we're ready to move forward with what we really want to create. And that makes total sense because everything up until May is really a clearing out of your directive, of your soul, of your ego, of your spiritual, all these other things. So really, we're not ready to plant until May. This year, I think we have a possibility of a master path May. I believe some people who are ready can now start manifesting, let's say, miracles. Let's say things that are bigger than us, bigger than life, things that impress us. Up until now, I think, in the last 30 years since Saturn has been in Capricorn, we've been learning about the law of attraction through things like The Secret and the Celestial Prophecy, the Celestine Prophecy, sorry about that, and other books that were kind of teaching us about how we law of attract stuff. But I don't think the Soul Collective has really ever, in a serious way, sat down and said, I want to attract this, and then this, and then this. Unless you happen to go to like Tony Robbins conventions quite often, because I think there are sects of population that are doing it. The reason why this year is a potential for a master path is because we just spent the first half of 2018 clearing out our old spiritual karma, realigning what our mission aims are, what's possible, where we're possible to belong, and then birthing what I call the winged ego, which is this new ego that's based on win-win. And that's a big reason why I believe some people have been unable to manifest greater things in their life because they were still operating from a win-lose ego, which meant that it was kind of a crapshoot. Sometimes they would win in a manifestation, sometimes they would lose. But I believe some of us are ready for now a win-win scenario, which I like to always say as good or gooder. When I'm manifesting, I will take something that is good, or I will also take something that is gooder. So this week, what we're doing, in my opinion, the Soul Collective is ready to plant the seeds that we want to manifest. And this can really boil down to very simple things, such as you want a car, you want a relationship, you want to relocate. It's all right, and it's okay that it's material, because we have come, I think, to this material plane to manifest joy in the material. We just can't be too focused on the material. We must realize that material comes after our inner spiritual. But I think if you begin consciously this week to start to plant these seeds based on a win-win scenario, that you're going to win or you're going to win, those are the only two options, I believe we're going to have some real potential for drawing in much larger rate of return than we have in the past, given everything and how everything is lined up. So this week is really kind of, I think, a week of planting our seeds, and it does look like there is a hiccup that happens around Thursday. And this hiccup, let's say, is a learning curve. However your intentions are to invest in something new in your life, to manifest something new, you're going to realize that you were not quite aiming the correct way, or it wasn't a heart-based, love intention-based manifestation. So if it's a manifestation just for ego and your heart's not behind it, you're going to have trouble manifesting it because the heart is the source of our energy. But it looks like we have a very strong week until Thursday. Then there's some sort of hiccup. And then Friday we have an aha moment, and Saturday and Sunday we kind of slide into home base feeling very much at peace. Now, one of the things I think that is going on for the Soul Collective still is our mind being reprogrammed for the winged ego. As you probably know, Mercury was retrograde for most of April, and that meant that most people's thoughts were retrograded. People were thinking back and reprogramming their attitude, the way they think. And Mercury has not come out of the shadow period. The shadow period is basically the orbit of where Mercury retrograded. We this week come out of that shadow, which means technically the Mercury retrograde isn't over until it comes out of the shadow period. Now, my interest you to know, it comes out of the shadow period on Thursday, the wonky day. So I think part of this week is going to be us still sorting through old thinking, old ways of thinking, grounded ego thinking, thinking of win-lose. And although we're ready to invest and be abundant and law of attract what our heart desires, our mind still might be the smartass that's talking us out of it or doubting or taking us down old paths, probably until Thursday. So I would say be mindful of your thoughts this week. You're working out the last, let's say, self-sabotage thoughts that can keep you from feeling fertile or believing in a win-win solution. Another interesting aspect will come on Thursday, which is the moon crossing Saturn. In fact, emotions this week go through an interesting arc. We come off of a full moon last weekend, and the full moon is conjoining Earth in Scorpio, which means we begin the week really feeling the new potting soil. This is the conscious soil I'm speaking to. And what I mean by that is all dreams, all beliefs, everything that you want to manifest must be planted in really healthy, conscious soil. And that's what the full moon last weekend was about. It was about clearing out the bad soil, clearing out the bad consciousness that maybe sabotages your ability to be fertile and to be abundant. And as we start the week, we're kind of feeling that new soil, we're kind of tilling that new soil. So the goal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is very much to keep your emotional state intact so you have healthy return. That means basically you emotionally feel positive instead of negative. That's the simple way to look at it. Then the moon on Tuesday night moves into Sagittarius, and this is interesting because after we're kind of clear on our soil, we plant our seeds and we're like, okay, this is what I want. Then we kind of sit back in our lawn chair and we sort of rocking our rocking chair on the porch, and we emotionally start to review the story we have lived and the story we were born to live. So with the moon in Sagittarius, come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a lot of your feelings are probably remembering the past, remembering how far you've come, reviewing if you're happy in your story or not, and then miraculously, again it happens, the moon will cross the galactic center again on this wonky day, Thursday. And that crossing in the galactic center, I think, is part of what changes your manifestation potential. Is you have maybe second thoughts on how you feel about what your future should be. You might have second thoughts on what you feel your legacy or the story you were born to live is meant to be. And even though you might have been planting for a new Ford Mustang or planting for a new house or planting for a new girlfriend, you might feel come Thursday that you have more to do on the planet than these simple things. So I'm basically saying that plant your soul garden, plant your abundance, plant your manifestations, put them into motion, but realize you may have a last-minute transplant from like one consciousness, or you might change out real quick what it is you want to manifest come Thursday, come Friday. All right, so and it's all good. It's quite possible, by the way, that you have been underestimating yourself. Now, fresh thinking is a big part of this week, and so is fear fighting. Black Lilith moves to step 19, Capricorn, and this means that you're going to have fears of being infertile, fears of not being able to bring something to term. This would be like a woman having fears of getting pregnant, but it applies to both genders. Basically, any fear you have around pregnancy or fertility or good luck or value or confidence, these kind of have to be faced. And I think this is part of where the mind, which is catching up out of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, I think this is where the mind might get caught up in the old grounded ego with your thoughts through the week. So be conscientious of it. Fear may trigger old thinking. Fear may trigger the old ego. We are technically being tested on our new ego until May 16th when Uranus moves into Taurus. But this week in particular, your thoughts could be holding you back. So be mindful of your thoughts. On the other side of this, though, Venus is in Gemini, which means we're ready to open up to new thinking. So be aware that if you have a negative thought, or you have a self-depreciating thought, or you have a win-lose kind of scenario in your mind, with Venus and Gemini, the universe is providing at the very same time an alternate view. And that alternate view may come from something someone comments on the internet, or a person or a family member says something to you, or you read something. But we are being introduced to alternate views, and stay open to those alternate views for the entire week. The last thing I think that's really happening this week is what I call irrigation. All right? And irrigation has to do with really keeping our soil in a perfect conscious state so that we can grow consciousness out of ourselves. If you plant dreams in a troubled child, that child is going to manifest troubled dreams, right? So part of this week's work has to really do with maintaining your own state, your own soul, and how it feels moment to moment. In fact, I think this week there will be a turning point, especially by the end of the week, as far as how you need to manage your emotions, because sometimes they can actually pollute your soul garden. And that's really going to be the topic of our tea time this week. I'm going to talk about this planting of personal dreams, and I'm going to talk about this soul irrigation. So go get yourself some tea, and let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is planting dreams and emotional irrigation. So this week, what we're basically doing is preparing to plant seeds to our personal dreams. And as I mentioned before, this might be something very, very practical, like you want an apartment or you want a house. And it may be something very, very lofty, like you want to be a very successful college professor, or you want to be a star athlete. And just keep in mind that you can manifest anything you want. The bigger thing you aim for, the more time, space, and love is necessary to grow that. So what I always say to my clients and my subscribers to Serious Joy is probably to plant two seeds. One that's kind of immediate, something that's low-hanging fruit, something that you can manifest almost immediately, like immediately in spiritual terms is 40 days. And then I would plant a longer-term manifestation. And the bigger things that we manifest, such as a job or a change of residence or the love of our life, I've noticed these things take 6 months to germinate, usually. And then if it's really big, like being president of the United States, could take 16 years, okay? And each year you just manifest one more layer of that conscious tree. So plant something that your heart wants. And the reason is, I can't go into all of it, but this year, 2018, is really wired for people's personal dreams to come true. I come up with most of that from the fact that the North Node is in Leo for the first time since 1998 to 2000. That was the last time the North Node was in Leo. That was the last time the universe said, go for your dreams, go for your heart, see what's possible. And we've basically been living off of that dream for this last 18 years. This is the first time that we have been told by the universe with the North Node of Leo, it's time to go for your heart's dreams. This is also the first time we've been told that with a new winged ego. A new ego that is over our karmic past, over all of our inner battles, over all of the things that basically would take away our energy, make us infertile, or distract us from our goals. So not only are we being called to our heart right now, we're being called to our heart with more strength and more awareness than we've ever had in our entire life. This is why I think this is a Master Path May. I think this is a month where you can actually get on a master path of manifestation. That means abundance, that means more than you need, and that means mostly what your heart truly desires. Now, to have this happen, you have to also not only plant these seeds with your heart of what you want and what your intentions are, but you also must make sure that the conscious soil is clear, that it is irrigated, so you don't drown in old drama situations, and at the same time, not just drown, that you don't die off your manifestation from drought. In other words, you did not emotionally invest in yourself enough and did not emotionally nurture yourself enough. So to keep this dream alive, you have to be grounded and well-watered and well-irrigated. And I think this all builds to a realization climax on Thursday, Wonky Thursday, when the moon crosses Saturn. When the moon crosses Saturn, I believe you're going to realize or come to a decision that you must manage your own feelings in a certain way. Otherwise, it could pollute your soul garden. It could keep your soil from being fertile. It will keep yourself from law of attracting something that is drama-less, right? Like dramaless, if that's a word. So this week, I think there are really two conscious efforts to get through the week for all 12 signs. One is, are you planting seeds with your heart? And for each of the 12 signs I'm going to talk about here, where it is you must, in a heartfelt way, plant your seeds in a new consciousness. Now, if you are trying to manifest a car or something that's outside of where I direct you today, I want you to know that you want to make sure you're planting seeds where I direct you in that state of awareness, because it allows and guarantees for you to manifest everything. Each of the 12 signs tends to have a, let's say, a sampling garden, like a little beginner garden. Like everyone begins their manifestations through one side of their life, and then they take that fertility and they bring it over to other parts of your life. So where you should be planting seeds this week. And then also I'm going to talk about what area of your life must be drama-free. What area of your life where you must emotionally be very clear on what your emotional needs are, and make sure you include your emotional needs in this area of your life. And I consider that to be the conscious soil. So we're going to talk about the magic beans and the conscious soil for all 12 signs. And as always, up here on the side of the screen, I'm going to give you a little play card here of what sign I'm talking about. So you can zoom through the show if you need to, because I know it goes kind of long. All right, Aries. Aries are now planting seeds of new productivity. So you could say they are planting magic beans quite literally. And for them, it's not just what they're planting, it's also their fertility and getting their self-confidence and their self-worth up to a new level. So Aries are not just planting, but they're raising the stakes. And that means that they must also be heartfelt, their heart must be behind it, and their heart must value whatever it is they're trying to do. If you are trying to plant seeds that will lead you to something else, in other words, oh, I'm going to go play the lottery and that's going to bring me the new car. That's not how the universe works. It does not work in a two-step fashion like that. You need to go directly for the car. Don't tell the universe how to do it through the lottery or something else. Tell the universe what your heart wants. Okay, that's one of the myths of the past. Now, for you to manifest new productivity, you must base all of your decisions on how you feel. So your emotional irrigation is deciding based on feelings. And that means you don't decide based on data, you don't decide based on what the world thinks, you don't decide based on what your ego thinks, you decide based on what you feel is appropriate. And this week you're going to move forward, if you do this, with your life path, your career, and your legacy. So this week you're planting leads to new legacy. Taurus! Taurus, happy birthday, Taurus. This is the Taurus birthday time. Mine's coming up, fellow Moo-Moo. Tauruses are actually planting seeds of new performance. So Tauruses now are kind of getting into a new drive. You could say it's like switching gears. It's new behavior, new performance, new ways of taking action, new plans, you could say. So Tauruses are basically planting seeds to new plans, things that they want to do. Now, for you to pull that off, Taurus, you must have emotional belief in yourself. You must emotionally truly believe. And you must cut away from any emotion that takes away from your belief. So for you to plant new seeds of behavior and performance, you must emotionally believe in yourself, okay? Now, if you do this, this will lead to your life's purpose moving forward. Gemini. Gemini are planting seeds of new daily faith. And I say that daily faith. So Geminis tend to be kind of future faith oriented. In other words, our mind's like, oh, one day I'll feel good when this happens, or I'll feel good once I can check this off. No, no, no. You're planting the ability to have faith every day without an outcome, okay? Like without knowing where it's leading. And for you to build this daily faith in yourself, you must emotionally trust yourself. That's where your emotions must be watered. You must really feel trust. If you don't feel trust, or if you don't get rid of feelings that decay your trust, it will poison your plant of new faith. So you must emotionally trust yourself to build daily faith. Cancers. Cancers are planting new seeds of their relationships, basically. So they are all under the, all over the sun, basically. Their relationships to the world, their relationships to the public, their relationship to their friends. They're basically planting seeds to a new way of relating to the whole world. And this is one that they value more than others. Now, for them to actually have these new crops of social work come about, they must basically have their emotional approach to themselves be clean. So you must emotionally have faith in yourself. You must emotionally have faith in your relationship to yourself. You can't have any emotional doubts about yourself if you're going to plant yourself into a new relationship with the world and the new relationship with others. So you must have clear relationship with yourself to have fertile relationships with others. Leos. Leos are actually making pretty big changes. I'm a Leo rising, and this would apply if you're a Leo rising. You're planting seeds to a whole new future. So Leos have a whole new plan ahead of them, and I think finally Leos are going to go to a master path plan. They're going to be able to get out of wherever they have been stuck. Now, for this to happen, Leo, you must emotionally trust your body and your daily work life. So you must emotionally feel secure day to day. Emotionally feel secure in your work environment. Basically, if you want the future and career you want, you must have a daily, emotionally balanced work-life lifestyle. So there's no way you'll get to your destination if your lifestyle is out of balance and not emotionally clear of drama, worry, etc. Virgos. Virgos are actually planting seeds to a new education. And I know that doesn't sound too sexy, but we're talking about Virgos here. Virgos tend to absorb information. So if they're going to go get a new education, if they're going to go learn something, they're going to learn it, okay, like from top to bottom. So this may be they're planting seeds for formal education, a training session. It could be that you're the teacher and you're planting seeds for a curriculum that you're creating, okay? But basically, Virgos are going to manifest some structured consciousness, education. Now, in order to do that, your approach to your own heart must be clear. Your emotional relationship to your heart must be clear. You can't be a sad Sally that feels that you never get what you want. You can't be, waiting for tomorrow when Prince Charming shows up. You have to emotionally feel pretty solid with your heart and pretty solid with your creativity. If you don't emotionally feel mature with your heart and creativity, you're going to pollute whatever curriculum you create. Libras. Libras are planting seeds to new boundaries. So watch out, world. Libras are about to change their comfort zones. That means that if you're a Libra that up until now was not comfortable, let's say, doing public speaking, that might change. If you're not comfortable, let's say, being single, that might change. Okay, so Libras are changing their comfort zones. But for this to happen, Libra, you must be on top of your emotional self-nurturing. Your emotional state must be clear. There cannot be worry. If you have worry, you must tend to yourself immediately. You cannot procrastinate feeling good to another day. You must feel good about yourself. You must feel good about your life. So for Libras to change their boundaries, they must change their diaper and feel that they are well pampered. All right. Scorpios. Scorpios are planting seeds to new relationships, long-term partnerships. So Scorpios are kind of getting married in profession. They're getting married to, let's say, new business plans. They're getting married to new long-term strategic alliances with other people or organizations. So it could be romantic, and it very likely could be for many Scorpios who've been single. Now, for you to raise to this new master path relationship level, Scorpio, you have to make sure that your mental connection to your feelings is clear. What does that mean? It means that you cannot let your mind upset you, and you cannot allow your feelings that are upset to corrupt your mind. You cannot allow your feelings to put you in a bad mood or have a bad attitude. Your emotional, intellectual connection must be mature and clean. The mind can't piss off the baby can't piss off the mind. Okay? And this stops from you reacting. This is really what prevents you from being in new trusted partnerships is your mind, emotional connection is still bringing old drama up when it's not applicable. And it's also bringing drama up that law of attracts the wrong partner. So you must have a clear emotional mind to have the new partnerships. Sagittariuses are manifesting a new daily work and health regimen. And this is huge. I know Sagittarius everywhere, they're changing where they live. They're changing how they live. They're changing their body. They're getting diets. They are completely changing their life right now. I look at Sagittarius as kind of adventurers of life, and they tend to get stranded on different desert islands. You could say that they're about to go to a new desert island. Okay, like they're going to go to a new location. Now, for them to move their life to a new master path level, the Sagittarius must have all of their emotional boundaries around faith really clean. Okay, so you cannot carry fear to the table. You cannot carry karma to the table. You cannot carry how you felt when you were 22 to the table. All those old feelings and subconscious sabotages and repressions must be cleared out. You must face your boogeyman if you want to go to a master path island. That sounds like a reality show, Master Path Island. I'd love to do that. Capricorn are really, I got good news for you, Cappies. You are planting seeds to your serious joy. And that's not just saying you should join my Sensei service. That's saying that you really are ready now. After Pluto's been in your sign since 2010 and Saturn has been in your sign since December 20th of last year, the universe is kicking the shift out of you, and it's for a good reason. It's time for you to have what your heart really wants. I think a lot of Capricorns went after, they were the kind of personality that did this job so they could have this later, or played the lottery now so they can buy that later. And that's a two-step process. That's not how manifestation works. It's not two steps, it's one step, exactly to what you want. So the good news is it's time to go straight for what your heart wants. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to what your heart wants, okay? To the property your heart wants. Now, to pull this off, your ego emotional connection must be more mature. So when you feel bad, you cannot throw ego tantrums or try to control things or act up. You cannot let your ego react negatively from your feelings. And you can't let your ego make yourself feel bad, which is like your ego saying, we should be in a penthouse by now. We should be here. We should be there. That makes you feel bad. You shouldn't say that stuff to your emotional state. So in order to have your dreams come true, you got to release all the emotional ego baggage from the grounded ego. Okay? Aquarius are building a new emotional home, basically. This emotional home is probably their first emotional home because I don't think Aquariuses spend a lot of time thinking about their emotional potting soil. They don't think about what they're planting their life into. This is partly because they are very good at innovating. They're very good at fixer-uppers. And I think a lot of them have assumed that they could just fix up anything that they show up to. Yeah, you can, but you got to start from where you start. So Aquariuses are learning to plant new seeds or plant their soul garden into more fertile emotional soil. That means a better home, a better nurturing pattern, a routine, better food, better sleep, all the things a baby needs, and emotional support. You can't put themselves in a situation or environment that's not emotionally supportive. So they have to remove themselves from any emotionally destructive environments or relationships. Now, in order to get here, they must emotionally face all of their issues with fear or faith. You can no longer harbor boogeyman fears. You can no longer harbor emotional issues around the past or what has happened in the past. You must emotionally be clear inside and have no disharmony. So I guess basically what the universe is saying is you can't build a new home if you bring all the karmic baggage to the new home. You got to cut off the past, cut off the fears, cut off the worry, and go from there. Pisces are planting seeds of a new intellectual process. So Pisces are about to think differently. And I know that's hard to imagine because Pisces seem to be kind of stuck in their ways. But the cool thing about Pisces is every blue moon or so, they decide they have a different theory about life, and then boom, they expect everyone to change with them. That's the thing about them. They usually end up hopping into a new fishbowl. So Pisces are ready to be creatively brilliant. They're ready to do something cool and constructive. They're ready to plant phenomenal, brilliant ideas and put them into motion. In order to get there, though, they have to emotionally be clear when it comes to their social failures. So you can't bring emotional baggage of when you were rejected in high school, or when your first business failed, or when your friends let you down. Any of the karma that happened in the public must be completely cleared, okay? You must feel totally clean and on an emotional clean slate with the world for you to create these great ideas and manifest these big projects, okay? So this week, and I have one little edit for Sagittariuses, and I don't want to start over because these are long videos. Sagittariuses are emotionally nurturing their self-confidence. That's a big part of where their life transformation is. It's not just their fears, it's also emotional self-confidence that has to be clear too. So you have to get rid of your past failures, your past bankruptcies, your past debts, quite literally, just so you know. That's an important part of the process. But as you can hear, I think we can manifest some real heartfelt dreams. I think we can do it by love, protection, and making sure we don't bring any emotional baggage to the table. And I hope this week you get yourself into a Master Path Soul Garden. So now I want to transition to another new segment I have, a brief segment, just to keep things cleaner. I call it Good News. Here's some good news. I have a new segment called Good News. And this segment is designed to really share news with you from Lightwalkers in action. I realize I'm starting to get a lot of information from different people doing really good things, and I want to start sharing that with the rest of you. I feel like since I kind of have this show where people check in once a week with their spirituality and their path, I feel like part of my job is to spread some good news. So I'm interested in good news, by the way. And you may go, what is that about? Well, I'd like to know if you, yourself, as a Lightwalker, as an influencer of the planet, if you have any good news to share. This could be some announcement. You could be throwing together your own festival. You could be doing something great for your town. Whatever it is, we want to hear about it. And I'd like to create a little segment where I kind of share this information. I also, in this segment, want to share information with other Lightwalkers and their products. So I've noticed that more and more people are coming to me to help spread the word about their products. So each week, I'll also have a good news, information about different products that I feel have my sense of approval. In other words, I've looked into it, I think it's good content, I think it's helpful, and I want the world to know about it. So if you have information that you would like me to share on this show, or you have some good news for us, just email me at goodnews@seriousjoy.tv, and I will spread the news. That's part of what I want to do here as a Lightwalker. Now, here's some good news. Some good news is in the last few weeks, since we've gone through this winged ego shift and this karmic shift in Pisces, I am definitely noticing many Lightwalkers getting together in different organizations. We are organizing, and we are organizing in the light. One of these, of course, is some good news I have to share that I am throwing or co-sponsoring a new Oneness Care Love Fest that will be on May 20th. And here's some good news. Many people from our own community are going to be presenting there. We have some vendors, Kim LaJoy and Zen Shoemaker is flying out, if you're familiar, from our Namaste Today Club. And we have some other cool people, an artist named Annie Kemp, who, by the way, provided the tea time mug. She does little love-based conscious items. So this Love Fest, we're going to focus on May 20th on empowering the influencers of the planet. We want to help people who are trying to do good. We want to help you. We want to empower you. We want to give you tools for success. And we are totally open to meeting everyone. This Love Fest is really to support people who have an influence, who have a do-good kind of intention, and also to network. Because I've found that Lightworkers, we do not network enough. You know, the dark evil people of the planet all meet off of an island off of Madagascar once a year, right? And discuss how they want to coordinate the end of the world. How come we don't ever get together to coordinate the birth of the world? And that's one of the reasons why I've started this. So if you're interested, if you're going to be in the Denver area, we have many people flying out actually. It's going to be at the Mercury Cafe at 1 p.m. on May 20th. And we're going to have music, we're going to have light workers, we're going to have a presentation of body movement and spirituality, and we're also going to have time to network with one another. Now, if you can't make it to our Oneness Care Love Fest event, no worries. We are going to be streaming it over the internet, and we just got some new technology. Hopefully it's going to be even better than last time. So mark on your calendars May 20th, either to watch or show up. And if you happen to be flying into Denver for our Love Fest, please email us at support@seriousjoy.com. Let us know that you'll be in town because I'm hosting a special dinner for our out-of-towners. All right, some other good news. I got to point out my friend and colleague, Julie Day. She has started a group of Lightwalker teachers called Practical Mystics. And she's just released her first conscious album, which has to do on manifesting abundance. In fact, it's focused on abundance and repatterning righteousness poverty, which is really interesting. So she's put together this kit of 5 videos that gets really deep from other experts. If you want to learn more about it, I highly recommend Julie. I highly recommend this entire team. They are a team of light. They have good things to share, and you can download the video and watch anytime. For you to bounce straight to her sales page and read more about it, visit soulmart.net, soulmart.net. And by the way, last week I promoted that, but the .net wasn't working. So if you went there and you couldn't find it, please go back again and check it out, soulmart.net. Then I want to talk about Serious Joy. Here's some good news. Serious Joy, actually Serious Joy has been around. It's my personal sensei service. I've had it around almost for 5 years. I had 2 years of beta, then 3 years of development. But this is going to be the 1-year mark for our new application. In fact, come Gemini, which is May 20th, okay, May 21st, the same point of Love Fest, it's funny, we will be at the Season 2 mark. So if you subscribed with Serious Joy last year in May, and you've kept around this whole time, you will now enter into Season 2, which basically the service is getting a little facelift, and there's new features, and there's basically special information that unlocks for Year 2 subscribers. So I've designed the system to not just be based on 1 year. Each year we get deeper, each year there's a different focus, and our Year 2 starts on May 20th. But one of the things I'm giving my subscribers right now is a very detailed video playlist, or you could say video feature, on manifestation. The keys to manifesting, the steps to manifesting. This is really my life's work. I've always worked on consciousness and manifesting, but these videos will be available after they air for anyone that signs up from this point forward. But if you'd like to know more about my personal sensei service, it is light work, it is guidance, it is in your back pocket. We are always with you. Come to seriousjoy.com for more information on that. And then I want to say more good news. We have a wonderful family of light that is gathering in a club on Facebook, believe it or not. It's called the Namaste Today Club. I'm really happy with how far we have grown. I'm always posting things in the Namaste Today Club. For instance, right now we're looking for video testimonials of our service. But the point is if you want to stay in touch and you're not ready to be a subscriber, but you want to stay in touch, come join our club at NamasteToday.club. We have wonderful people there, we have wonderful support, and we have cool things coming out here shortly. If you have a business you want to advertise, if you have something you want to share, if you have good news you want to share, come to NamasteToday.club. It's where all the Lightwalkers hang on the web. All right, my friends, that's all my good news, but I look forward to reading your emails about what your good news is, and I will come up here each week and share with others. I hope you have a fabulous week planting your magic beans and tilling your new soil, and I'll be back in just 1 week to talk about our new samplings, the first sprouts of all of our effort. Have a wonderful week. Remember, I love you, and to live, love, be.
It's serious joy, joy, joy.